Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. I'm also very excited because Inazuma is dropping today, the day that I'm recording this video. I'm excited for Ayaka and all the other characters. And ever since Inazuma was announced, I've been thinking about doing a video like this, but now I finally have the time and the motivation to do it. So as you are probably aware, Inazuma is coming this week, and I hope we can all get lucky and pull Ayaka and the other characters that we want early. My luck isn't looking too great. I don't have that many Primo Gems, but hopefully we get lucky and get them early. So as you know, with Inazuma, it is the game's Japanese-themed continent. So because it's Japanese-themed, the region itself, the characters that come from it, the items there, various terms that are said, all have Japanese words and kanji associated with them. Kanji are symbols that have meanings associated with them, as well as different sounds, depending on how they're used. So I've taken a good amount of time learning what the kanji for the different items, things like that, what those kanji mean, and writing it down just for fun. But I figured my findings would be interesting for a video too. So if you're ever wondering what Ayaka or what Kazuha's name actually mean in Japanese, then you've come to the right place. However, I need to leave a disclaimer. Though I have been studying Japanese for a few years, I am not native Japanese, nor am I from there. I'm also not very familiar with the Japanese Genshin community, though I would like to be. I do, however, play the game with Japanese audio. Also, because I'm not native and I'm not fluent, I'm likely to make many mistakes. So if you catch one, or if there's something that I missed, please leave a comment. I can pin it, I can pin another comment of my own with any corrections or anything that I missed, or anything that I want to add later into the video. Also, I do stream on Twitch, and I stream Genshin. I sometimes stream my friends and I playing other games. So give a follow, and my Twitch will be linked in the description and it should be on screen. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into the video. So before we start talking about the different characters and what their names mean, I want to give a basic kanji lesson. So they're Chinese characters used in the Japanese writing system. So for example, here are the two kanji for the city Tokyo. So the city Tokyo is read this way, and they have meaning derived in these characters. So this one on the left means east. The one on the right means capital. So you put those two meanings together and it means eastern capital. And if you look at a map of Japan, Tokyo's on the east and it is the capital city. However, though the derived meaning is eastern capital, that doesn't mean when you are trying to refer to Tokyo that you say east capital. Hello there, I'm from East Capital. Excuse me, what? No, you would say, I am from Tokyo, or I have friends that live in Tokyo, or someday I would like to visit Tokyo. The same can be said for characters. For example, Kazuha. Kazuha here, his name is written like this, with these two kanji. Well, actually these four, but we'll ignore these two for now, and we'll talk about those later when we cover him. But, for example, the first kanji means 10,000, where the second kanji in his name is leaf. So if you put those together, 10,000 leaves, or thousands of leaves. So if you were to meet somebody named Kazuha, you wouldn't say, just because the derived meaning of his name means 10,000 leaves, you wouldn't say, hey, thousands of leaves. You would refer to him as his name, Kazuha. So with that being said, let's get into the characters. In total, we're going to be talking about 10 different characters, and I'll do my best to keep it short, but they have a lot of meaning in their names, and so I want to do my best to explain it as thoroughly and understandably as possible. So I apologize if this gets too long. I will leave timestamps though, in case there's only a few that you're interested in, or if you're feeling it, you can watch all of them. Either way, let's get into the characters. So I lied. Before we talk about the characters, I want to talk about what Inazuma means anyway. So Inazuma uses these two characters, these two kanji, which when put together mean lightning, flash of lightning, or lightning bolt, which is very appropriate for it being the land of the Electro Archon. When you split the two, however, the first one means rice plant, and the second one means wife or spouse. So I looked it up in the dictionary, and this way of saying lightning or flash of lightning is archaic. It is an old way of saying it. And so they use this archaic way of spelling it. However, it refers to lightning. The Genshin developers may have decided to stick with these kanji because rice is often associated with Japan. So after that, let's go into the order that was shown in the Inazuma trailer. So the first person that we see, at least in this scene, is Kamisato Ayaka. Let's first begin with her last name, Kamisato. The two characters in Kamisato are these two. The first kanji of her last name reads as Kami. This character means God, spiritual, or divine. The second character of her last name, Sato, means village or your hometown or one's origins. When you put those two kanji together, you can kind of make out a meaning, which means divine home or the village of the gods. These are kind of abstract as opposed to the Tokyo definition that we used as an example earlier. But this is a name found in Japan. So Ayaka's first name, Ayaka, uses these two characters. The first, reading as Aya, means design, figure, cloth, style, weaving. The second character in Ayaka's name reads as Ka and means flower or blooming, beauty. And so when we put those two together, we have weaving flower or cloth flower. And you can see that shine through a little bit on Ayaka's character. She's very elegant. Next, from the trailer, in the scene with the Statue of the Seven, we have Sayu, who despite her size wields a claymore. Sayu's name is interesting. First character here means fast. The second character here means citron or citrus. It's used a lot with various types of Asian citrus fruit. However, it is commonly used in names as a U sound. So when you put them together, you have fast citron, which is interesting. Whenever I see Sayu, I don't think of a citrus fruit. I think of a tanuki, but maybe tanuki like citrus fruit. I'm not sure. After Sayu, we have Yoimiya. Yoimiya's kanji are these two. The first one meaning evening or early night, and the second one means a shrine or a palace. And when you put them together, it would say evening palace, but it actually has a word associated with it, and it means festival eve vigil, or eve of a festival vigil. We saw in the trailer that there is a fireworks display at evening, and I think this refers to her name's meaning. The next one that appears in the scene is interesting. Thoma is next. We learned from the online voyage event that Thoma actually isn't from Inazuma. Though he isn't from Inazuma, he is the chief retainer of the Kamisato clan. So because Thoma isn't from Inazuma, he does not have Japanese kanji associated with his name. However, he does have simplified Chinese characters in his name. In order to read his name in Chinese, you need these characters. So technically, we could take these simplified versions back to their originals, unsimplify them, if you will, and see if we can find a meaning for his name in Japanese. Is that a little complicated? Maybe. Are we gonna do it? Sure, why not? Just for fun. So actually, the first one here doesn't need to be reverted to its original form at all. It is shared with Japanese, and so when you look it up in a dictionary, it means to entrust. With the second one though, we will have to revert it to its original form. So when you unsimplify it, it looks like this. But they both have the same meaning, being horse. When you combine them, you might want to say to entrust your horse to someone, or a trusty horse. But when you think about a horse as a companion, it might be appropriate to say that his name means a companion that you can trust, a horse being a companion. I know that's probably a stretch, but again, this is just for fun. We're not given any kanji, and so I just kind of went with it, see what we could get with what we had. Next on the list is Sangonomiya Kokomi. So her name has a lot of kanji. We need to split her name into different parts. So first, let's start with Sango. Both of these two kanji separately mean coral, and when you put them together, it also means coral. I think the coral might refer to her design. She looks very oceanic, like a mermaid. The third kanji in here is Miya, which you might have seen already, which was in Yoimiya's name. It means shrine. So when you put no between one noun and another, it makes it possessive. In English, it would be like adding an apostrophe s. So here, it would mean the shrine of coral. So that's the first part of her name out of the way. Now let's translate Kokomi. The first kanji here means heart, mind, spirit, and it is read as kokoro. The second one here means sea or ocean, and it is read as umi. So if you put them together, you would take off the ro on kokoro, and you would read Kokomi. So when you put them together, you get something like heart of the ocean, spirit of the ocean, mind of the sea, spirit of the sea. This reflects very well on her character. She has the hydrovision on her clothes, and she looks similar to like a mermaid or something coral or ocean related. Next we have Gorou. His is another case like Thoma. We found out that Thoma actually isn't from Inazuma, but as far as we know so far, Gorou is from Inazuma. However, it has not been revealed if his name has any kanji yet. So we'll do the same thing that we did with Thoma and take how his name is said in Chinese and see if we can derive some meaning in Japanese by using the characters. So the first kanji here, read as Go, means 5. The second one means son, as in somebody's child, son. So when you put it together, it could mean 5th son, 5 sons. So with these two kanji and us not being given an official Japanese name for him in kanji, makes it harder to derive meaning, but maybe he is the 5th son or the 5th something of the story. We won't know until we play out the story. But next we go back to Kaedehara Kazuha. Since we discussed what his first name means, let's go into what his last name or his surname means. The first character in his surname is Kaede, and it means maple. The second one, read as Hara, is this one, and it means meadow, field, prairie, sometimes original. So when you put them together, it means a meadow of maple or a maple meadow, which works perfectly with his character. When you put this with Kazuha, meaning thousands of leaves, it has even more meaning, thousands of maple leaves. This shows in his character as well. His clothes, his attacks, his style, all are present in his name. After Kazuha, we have Yae Miko. She's an upcoming character, and we don't know much about her. She spoke a little bit in the trailer, and she has appeared on some of the special live streams that they've done. Her last name is these two. Yae, the first character meaning 8. The second character means heavy or important, esteem, or respect. When you put them together, it is a common word in Japanese meaning multi-layered or double. Her first name, Miko, you may have seen this first kanji earlier, meaning God. The second means child, and it seems to be an alternate spelling of Miko, meaning a shrine maiden, which works perfectly with her character and her design. Her family name, multi-layered, and her first name, shrine maiden, may suggest that there is more to her character than just being a simple shrine maiden, and there is probably more to her character than we can see on the surface. After Yae Miko, we have Kujou Sara. Her last name is these two kanji. The first one meaning 9, read as ku. Second has a lot of meanings. It can mean stripe, twig, article, and when put together it reads as Kujou. Kujou is a name that goes back with Japanese history, them being a clan, an aristocratic family within Japan's history. That is interesting to see in her character, seeing as she is the adopted daughter into the Kujou family. Sara uses these two characters. The first one meaning Buddhist surplice, a surplice being a kind of robe, which you can kind of see in her character design, and Buddhism being a common religion in Japan. The second one reads as Ra, and it means thin silk or fabric. And so when you put it together, it could be a lightweight fabric robe, which you can see on her character. I don't think it's as defining as Kazuha's name or even Kokomi's name. However, we don't know enough about these characters to make these assumptions yet.
And remember, finding these meanings for me was just for fun. I don't mean to say that their entire character has to be defined by what their name is. I just find it interesting when there are connections.
After Sara, we have the Electro Archon herself, Baal, or as you would say in Japanese, Baru. Baru itself does not have kanji. However, in Japanese, she is referred to as the Raiden Shougun, so we will use those kanji in her name. We will start with Raiden. Raiden has two kanji which look similar. The first one means thunder or lightning bolt, and it is read as Rai. The second one is read as Den and means electricity. So this works perfectly for the Electro Archon to mean thunder and lightning. If you are familiar with Japan or Japan's history, you've probably heard the term Shogun before. Sho, this first character, means leader or general or commander. The second reads as Gun and means army or war or battle. When put together, it means general. Seeing as she is the leader of the nation, the Electro General or the Electro Shogun perfectly describes what we've seen so far of Baal.
So yeah, that's it for today's kanji lesson. These are some of the things that I wanted to talk about today in this video.
I'm not exactly sure how long it was going to be or how it would turn out, but yeah, these are some of the characters and terms that you'll be hearing as you explore Inazuma. Hopefully from the things that we talked about, we can greater appreciate the depth of Inazuma and its characters, and also appreciate just the sheer amount of work that the Genshin development team did making this region, and like the quality of the research that they did in making the characters and their names. As you can tell from the video, there's lots of things, locations, items, characters that we didn't even touch. And so if you liked the video, consider giving it a like and comment if there's anything else you'd like me to cover in the future. I think in the future, I want to explore more Japanese differences within Genshin Impact. For example, why does Kaya, as we refer to him in English, go by Gaia in Japanese?
Gaia.
I want to cover this, among other things, in a future video.
But until I get around to making that video, consider subscribing so you can be notified when I make it. And again, I do stream on Twitch, so if you want to ask me any questions or do artifact runs or whatever with me, or just chill in the chat and say hi, I appreciate it. Again, my Twitch is in the description. It should be on screen also. But anyway, no matter how much of this you watched, I appreciate you sticking around and for your support. Thanks again for watching. Enjoy Inazuma, and I'll see you next time.